TriStateRunner.com, proudly here at the start line of the 5th annual Battle of the Potomac, DC, Maryland, and West Virginia and Virginia cross-country championships. Here with three-time Olympian and world cross-country champion Craig Virgin. Mr. Virgin, tell us what brought you here today to the Battle of the Potomac.
Well, I've been aware of ARA for a long time. I contacted Dave Watts, gosh, I guess 6 or 8 months ago, trying to find out what programs they had and how I could get involved to help them out nationally. He had talked about the Run a Mile program in the spring, but you know, about 30-45 days ago, I called them and we were talking about this cross-country program, and I wasn't aware that they had the Battle of the Potomac out here, and I think it's a wonderful concept. After the state meet's over, of course, the kids all focus on their conference and then their state championships, but to have a 4-state championship, kind of an all-star cross-country race, is a great concept. First of all, let me say this, that of the 3 disciplines in competitive running, track and field, which everybody thinks about with the Olympics, road racing with the marathon craze going on, basically it's races in the street, and then finally cross-country. And cross-country was my first experience, my first exposure to organized running and racing, and it's my first love. And if I had one more day to live and one more day to run, I'd rather do cross-country than anything else. I don't know whether it's the farm boy in me, but I just love being on the grass. I love the hills. I love the trees. Fall is my favorite time of the year. The colors are out there, not just the colors of the leaves, the colors of the uniforms. To me, it's just the most pure, elemental form of competitive running that there is. It's also very good because it's both boys and girls. So politically correct, you can't get any more politically correct than that. 7 run, 5 score, and everybody has the same race. So unlike track and field, where your distance runners are broken up between the half-mile, the mile, the 2-mile, or longer, everybody's in the same race. For me, my favorite U.S. teams were always the cross-country teams. I qualified for 10 of them, and it was always the most fun. We had the most camaraderie, and when I look back at the friendships over the years, the friendships with my cross-country teammates are among the best I've ever had.
Now, speaking of farm boy, that was an Illinois farm, I presume.
Yes,
tell you had quite a bit of success in Illinois growing up. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I grew up in southwestern Illinois, and even though I'm from Illinois, I live about a half an hour from downtown St. Louis. So I'm not a Cubs fan, I'm a Cardinal fan.
Go Cardinals.
I grew up listening to Harry Carey broadcasting the Cardinals long before he moved up to the Cubs. But so I'm down there, and so I'm used to, you know, to me it was a big city market close by, but I lived in a small town of 4,000 people, and I grew up on a 900-acre farm just outside of town, about 3 miles. So my dad had cows and pigs, and we had, you know, 800 or 900 acres of row crops. The reason I got started running, and maybe that's why I like cross country, is that my dad didn't have a cow dog and he didn't have a horse. So when he wanted the cows brought in or the pigs brought up or rounded up, he just snapped his fingers and said, "Craig, go bring them in." And that's how I got started on my cross-country running. And maybe I feel like I'm back in my pasture. I don't know. But you know, I did not start running until high school. I started when I was the day after my 14th birthday. I came out for cross-country. Okay. Found out immediately that I had an aptitude for it. As Steve Prefontaine aptly called it, it was my gift. But I worked very hard for my 4 years in high school and 4 years of college, and then the time since then to develop that gift while I was still a competitive runner. But the elemental things that I learned, and that's what I want to emphasize these young people here, the things that you can learn if you pay attention, you have a reasonably good coach, and you listen to what he says, observe, experience, understand what's happening, is that the lessons that you learn in high school will hold you in good stead in college. And the lessons that I learned in college, in addition to high school, helped me to become a national world-class champion.